When ChatGPT answers you, it feels like there is someone in there, like it has a thought and then puts that thought into words the way you do. So here is something that is going to sound impossible at first. When it writes the very first word of its reply, it has absolutely no idea what the last word is going to be. There is no plan, no outline, no thought waiting to be typed out. Underneath everything it does, the poetry, the code, the arguments, there is just one tiny mechanical move, repeated over and over. And once you see that move, you will never look at any AI the same way again. So let's strip it all the way down to that one thing. Forget everything fancy for a second. At its absolute core, a large language model does exactly one job. You give it some text and it guesses what word comes next. That is it. Not the whole answer, not the next sentence, just the next single word. Give it "the cat sat on the," and its entire job in that instant is to figure out what is most likely to follow. Mat, floor, sofa. It is a prediction machine for the very next word and nothing more. Everything else, somehow, is built on top of that. But here is the first surprise. It does not pick one word. For that blank, it produces a score for every single word it knows, and it knows a lot, well over 100,000 of them. It turns those scores into probabilities, a giant ranked list. So for "the cat sat on the," you might get mat 40%, floor 12%, sofa 8%, couch 5%, and a long, long tail of less likely words trailing off after that. This whole spread of possibilities has a name. It is called a probability distribution. And this distribution, this shape, is the real output of the model, not a word, a landscape of how likely every possible word is. Now the machine does something simple, and it is the key to everything. It picks one word from that distribution. Let's say mat, it writes it down. And then this is the important part, it takes the whole thing, "the cat sat on the mat," and feeds it right back into itself as if it were a brand new prompt, and it predicts again. The next word. Maybe, and pick, append, feed back in. Predict "the cat sat on the mat," and again. Looked, again. Word by word by word, each time rereading absolutely everything it has written so far to decide the next single piece. That loop, predict, pick, append, repeat, is the entire act of an AI writing. There is no other magic step. So come back to that impossible-sounding claim from the start. When the model wrote its first word, it had not decided on mat yet. It was just answering what is the most plausible next word right now. It does this with no destination in mind. It is not following a plan because there is no plan. And yet paragraphs come out coherent. Arguments hold together. Code runs. How? The coherence is not designed in anywhere. It emerges on its own from doing one humble thing, predict the next plausible word, hundreds and hundreds of times in a row. Something that looks unmistakably like thinking, falling out of a repeated guess. And that raises the deepest question in all of this. How can just guessing the next word produce something that seems to understand? Here is the beautiful part. To guess the next word really well across all of human writing, the model is forced to learn far more than spelling. To finish, the capital of France it has to have built some internal notion of countries and capitals. Researchers proved this with a stunning little experiment. They trained a model only to predict the next move in a board game, never showing it the board, never telling it the rules, just sequences of moves. And when they looked inside, the model had secretly built its own picture of the board. Nobody put it there. It constructed a model of the world because that was the best way to predict what came next. Predicting the next word done well enough can require building a real model of the world, not memorizing, understanding. Now you have probably heard people wave all of this away with 3 words. It's just autocomplete. And they are half right, which is the most dangerous kind of right. Yes, the engine underneath truly is next word prediction, the same idea as your phone's keyboard, just unimaginably more powerful. But here is what that misses. A model freshly trained this way is not actually ChatGPT yet. Left alone, it does not answer your questions, it just continues your text, like the internet endlessly babbling on. Turning that raw next word engine into something that actually helps you, that listens and responds, takes more steps, and those are some of the most important episodes coming up. So hold both truths at once. The engine is autocomplete. What gets built on top of it is not. So that is the foundation the entire AI world is built on. One tiny move. Look at all the text so far, produce a probability for every possible next word and pick one. Wrap that in a loop and run it fast enough and out comes everything. But that word, pick one, is hiding something. We said the model gives a whole distribution, mat 40%, floor 12, and so on. So which one does it actually choose? And why is it that you can ask the exact same question twice and get two completely different answers? That is not a bug. It is a dial, and it is exactly where we go next.